Hello everyone, it is Ruben here from Time in the Round and I'm here with Marshall Stevenson. Marshall, could you tell us what you did this weekend?
2 events and second place in both of them after Swiss.
You know what, second place, silver is still a thing. And what did you play this weekend?
I played Labrynth.
Oh, amazing. Trap strategy, still strong as ever. Well, let's see how you did it.
Okay. 3 of Lady, 1 of Lovely. 7 times I drew her today in the opening hand.
And how many times on the Saturday?
Another 5, I believe.
Wow,
yes.
so 12. Amazing.
Yeah, that was good. 3 copies of Ariana.
Yeah, it's 3 interesting. What was the thought process behind this?
Because it is an engine card.
That is very fair.
The games you lose are typically either games you get blown out post-side or games where you do not see engine at all. It's not just Stratos, it's also a Stratos that draws you more cards. I don't want to play less than 3. People say, oh, you can brick on it, oh, it loses to Impimp. I don't care too much. I don't even think Impimp's that great right now.
Controversial.
Yeah. So I played some more Labrynth monsters.
Interesting. So this is the furniture?
This is the furniture, yeah. So we've got our clock, stove, and chandelier, Chandra. I really do like these cards quite a lot. I prefer to play these at the moment. Just clock is unique. These two are very similar, and this lets you flip traps the turn you set them. So you have ways just to set Eradicator and drop this and flip the Eradicator and blow them up. So I was often doing that for that purpose there, and then we've got these which are just more engine cards. They keep adding themselves back or special summoning every time you remove a card with a normal trap. That way it gives you more engine, but also it means that you can stay in the game for a lot longer. There are plenty of games where I would have run out of cards if I weren't just looping these back every single turn. Also, when you do that, you also get to loop clock as well. Each time you use these effects, you get this back, and then you can discard it, activate the one you just set. So it turns out to be a really cool engine, which doesn't always work, but like there's not much bestials in the format, which is what these cards were losing to, those and shufflers. So now they're wide open. You can play them if you want to run more engine cards.
Oh, amazing.
Then we play Discount Mama Lady. That's Lord of the Heavenly Prison. Yeah, I didn't even consider this card, to be honest. I've been playing Labrynth for quite a long time. I only ever saw it as going first card, but now it's like, oh, this is just Lady. So I really like this.
Yeah, I mean, this is the lady you want to draw in your opening hand.
Yeah, yeah. Now, spells, we've got 1 fuel spell, 3 copies of Prosperity, and then 1 Core Bow.
5 spells, interesting. 1 more than most people.
Yeah, like well, I mean, a lot of builds right now are playing Duality, and I cut this because it turns out to be the worst top deck, especially when you're playing cards like these, because often you can end up using your welcome to add one of these and then set a welcome to flip on their turn, which you can't do if you don't play these cards. And that means if you ever draw Duality, you're a bit screwed on that. So I decided I didn't want to play it. This was an extra slot where there just wasn't a trap card that I wanted, and let's face it, like it's not as bad as Branded, but you still can lose game stash.
Does kind of stop the main traps of the deck.
Yeah, and this was going to be sided at the very least anyway. Very good for Branded. Then trap cards, the main event, we've got the regular welcomes, of course. We'd never play 2 of this, you need to draw these cards. 3 copies of Dimensional Barrier, because it's a win condition.
So strong.
Yes, 3 copies of Compulse, because it is a very important card. Works both ways, bouncing your opponent's stuff and your own. Now, 3 copies of Skill Drain and 3 evenly, because I'm a bit of a filthy net decker and I realised, wait a second, this card's really good, this format. There's not too many main deck outs. This one can be good. Even just today, I only saw it going second in game 1 once, and then I saw it going first like 3 times. But I just discarded them with furniture, I guess. Yeah.
That probably makes it really nice as well. So
yeah,
you're
but
never going to brick on these game 1 going first.
People know that like I'm playing Labrynth after this weekend as well, so you could just fake evenly match all the time and get some stuff going. Then I play 1 copy of Terrors of the Ogre, 1 Archfiend's Ghastly Glitch, 1 Daruma Karma Cannon, and 1 Eradicator.
And walk us through this. So these are your one-of traps.
Yeah, these are my one-ofs. So, like, you obviously can play a lot of one-ofs because you have Lady getting things that are situational. Now, a lot of people have been doing things like 2 copies of this card, but I'm not playing a copy of Trap Trick because I don't love it so much. Trap Trick doesn't really search cards like D-Barrier, and searching for a welcome to flip a Lady when you can't activate any more trap cards is kind of redundant. So I haven't really been too in love with the card. Maybe it's a cheeky one-off, but I don't want to have to play 2 of these. So this is obvious for the win condition where I go first, I can search and flip this. This one I preferred to play over a second copy of Overroot because if I draw two, I'd rather they be different ones. This one I think is objectively a better card than this. However, like this does have situations where you can remove graveyard effects, but this one you need to control a fiend, which is the real kicker with it. But we have furniture in the deck, so we have more fiends in the deck, we have 3 Ariana, and you get to dump your furniture, so that way you can start getting that engine working, although the furniture will not trigger off of this effect, you need to wait for another one. This card is just to out stupid stuff. So, you know, if your opponent uses Avramax, just any sprite player, also is another Dragoon out, you know, at least a bait. And really good against trap tricks as well, which is a tough matchup. You just get their whole board out of the way.
And so what's the main deck count?
40 cards, yes, of course.
Love to see it.
Now, I'll quickly go into the fun extra deck. This was unsorted, but here we go. I was telling my opponents that I was playing Dark World.
Interesting. And what was the thought process behind this? Because I know Cash Tier is a pretty popular extra deck to fake.
Yeah. I just decided for this because I get to play Baguska and Muckraker, and these are the only ones I ever made. I didn't make anything over the weekend, so it didn't really make too much of a difference what I played. But yeah, I wanted to be able to make Baguska. And even you can also play this card if you have to. Now, I played Lingering and Luke Disciple just as I've heard of sprite players who give you Ibli and then Mannequin Cat, and then when you go into Lingering, they Mannequin Cat into Jinzo. So I played this, and the only target they have is Nibiru, but they side that out. So.
Yeah. That's clever, I like that.
Yeah, it's a cool player, but as soon as you figure it out, it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
Side deck, 3 copies of Solemn Judgment and 2 copies of Eradicator, and that's it for my going first. Because I found myself starting in cards like a Pointer and searching that, but I'd rather just keep it simple because there was too many things I wanted to have going first, so that's all. Just increases the odds of drawing it so you don't have to overextend and try and set it and flip it at the same time. I play 3 copies of Lava Golem. I chose to do this over sphere mode. Because we're not playing dualities, there's no confliction there. Of course, drawing multiples of this as opposed to sphere mode is better, and you can side them against way more matchups. And especially I was quite terrified of the Brandon matchup, which is quite good for this deck because of D-barrier loops, but they are citing Jinzo for Expulsion, and this is just another card you can put in to try and out that.
It's also a fiend.
It's also a fiend, yeah, like you can special this as off of the field spell and then bounce it back with Big Welcome, which is bounce it with Big Welcome, Grave Effect, bounce it with your Compulse, anything. It's some silly things. I've killed people with this on my side of the field, my own card. 3 copies of Nibiru just as another option because for Cash Terror, but also other things like trying to get Branded when they're trying to set up an Expulsion for Jinzo. Just wanted to be a bit more general, so I decided to go for Nibiru, and it did stop. It got rid of a Jinzo on the board, so that was good. And then last 3 copies of Ash Blossom, and then the final card was Bell.
Bell was number 15.
Yeah, Bell was number 15. I do like this card because it's good for Expulsion and cards like Super Factorial as well, which we did see a lot of over this weekend. So I knew that I didn't fare well into those cards. So I'd rather it just be this card so that I don't have to lose to them. And then Ash is Ash. It's still very good this format. It goes in against most matchups. When you've got stuff that just doesn't work, you just put that in.
And it's also a pretty good mirror card because obviously
Lady
can be quite
and then
hard
the
to
Bell
deal.
also works in the mirror too. So these always just go in I got my welcome belt my big welcome belt quite a few times as well.
Wow, that is crazy. Yeah. Well, I guess, before we wrap up, any shout outs you'd like to make?
Shout out to Card Merchant Hamilton, the best hobby shop in New Zealand, of course. Now, also specifically City, who managed to get first place at the New Zealand Open, really proud of him, and then also getting top 8 at the event here at Card Merchant West City. Also just shout out to regularly testing partners like Ross and Andrew as well.
Amazing. And I'm Ruben, and that is Time in the Round.